Babyface, obviously.
Now, is that LA and Babyface or just Babyface alone? Because those
Oh,
they're two different eras of Babyface.
100% the LA and Face era. Because
Okay.
yeah, that's whew, man. See, you're the real deal. Because there is very much a distinctive difference between the sound of LA and Face. Um, LA, man, when I met LA, it's great, my LA Reid story. We bonded over this is what I told him that when I met him, they had just broken up. He wasn't producing anymore. Face is producing by himself now, and
Mm,
LA was running the Face. And I told LA that I thought the sound still sounded like Face, but it missed his drums.
mm,
LA is a drummer. So LA, that's how he was my model for learning to program drums because he programmed drums like a drummer.
mm,
And he structured his programming because at the time, Prince was using drum machines, um, but more like as loop mechanisms in a way. He would kind of just find a groove and kind of leave it there, which was dope because it turned into When Doves Cry and Kiss and stuff like that, and like using Lynn drums. But L.A. was sort of the first producer that I knew of, and Terry Lewis, also a drummer. They were programming, the drums with patterns, multiple patterns, 16, 17 different drum patterns on a song, changing at different areas in the song. So they were actually structuring the song through drums. And so when I met him, I said, man, that's what's missing from the sound to me.
mm.
Now, of course, he had many hits Face did by himself. But yes, the LA and Face era. So that's one.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me ramble on that.
That's good.
Uh, that's one. But they count as one, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
Jam and Lewis,
What's
Max
about
Martin.
them? What's it about
Right.
them? Is it the writing, or is it the jams piano? What's
Yeah, both. See, because now they're so one of the best things about man is like about having a hit record was because I got to fanboy out with the people that I cared about. You know, when we did a show in Minnesota, I was like getting on the phone with the label. I was like, I gotta go to Flight Time. That's what I want to do. I'm in Minneapolis. I want to go see where they record. And Jam was super open. He doesn't even remember it, but he invited me into the studio. Him and Terry sat with me, and they showed me like their custom Harrison console and these custom Osberger monitors they had. And I remember all this stuff, and I was just like fanboying out, asking questions like, "Man, when in Janet's records, like when it just sounds like 10, like 300 tracks of vocals, how do you make these layers?" Because like I'm like with the Shai record, I was trying to figure out what reverbs and delays you were using to try to get this sort of bed of sound. How do you do that? Like, what are you using? He said, "What it sounds like 300 tracks of vocals." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's 300 tracks of vocals," and I was
wow.
like, "What?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we will multi-track 16 different tracks of one part of the harmony, bounce that down, do 16 more of another part, bounce that down until it turns into hundreds and hundreds of tracks of background vocals." I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's how you do it?" Whoa. And I was just like,
Wow.
and I started doing that. I started doing that. Oh yeah. Immediately I started doing that. So a combination of like they were like part of my childhood. Alexander O'Neill, Sherelle,
Oh yeah, SOS band. Yeah,
SOS, the
they
stuff they
did.
did with Human League.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Climax. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
bro, I mean, like there's so many. The
yeah.
new edition when they brought New
Oh,
Edition back
home.
with
Yeah, 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 yeah. Any
Ralph
heartbreak.
stuff
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
was
yeah,
incredible. The stuff they did with Johnny was dope. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I really love. Oh man, oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah.
So when you go back to LA and Face, the stuff I love, LA and Face, the era that I loved. was the Whispers, Karen White.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
They had
last part of the deal kind of regroup era. Man,
yeah,
that stuff knocking.
yeah, they
I
had Pebbles, the
Yeah,
boys.
man.
Yeah.
I loved those records that I loved. And then
Even the Don't Be
you know,
Cruel album, that's
which one?
Don't Be Cruel
Bobby?
album.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was really their signature. That's when they really popped out.
Yeah,
Like,
it is
yeah,
actually LA's. I mean, people. I mean, his drums, especially on the Karen White stuff, like Secret Rendezvous and all that stuff. You can hear the drums really take the step. You can hear his faces, background vocals. He's always you can hear his background vocals on there, but it was a distinct sound.
I could sing it, man. Like the pattern, I knew the pattern so well, and this is how like really like I would nerd out on this stuff, man. I knew all of his patterns. I knew which sounds he was using. Like, I just yeah, I really love this stuff. And with Jimmy and Terry again, I was like their vocal techniques. Jimmy Jam is the best like piano voicings. Like
Mm,
he can make the same chord that somebody else is playing just sound so full and just yeah, and they could. What I loved about Jam and Lewis is that they could do really complex musical stuff, but make it mainstream. And that's really difficult to do. Like
mm, yeah.
this the music now. It's very dumbed down, very like, you know, 3 note, 4 note chord progression. But Jam was doing like seventh chords, ninth, 11 chords, and like throwing that stuff in pop records. Like what? And then abandoning all of that stuff. Janet and then just do straight like drums and sound effects, and then like do a record that's just drums for like the first 3 minutes, and then just throw a bridge and it just like goes off somewhere. And you're like, what? I could not figure out how they were doing that, man. So, LA and Face,
Yeah.
Jam and Lewis, Dr. Dre.
Okay.
I mean, drums. I mean, he is. I mean, he might be the best overall producer of them
Wow.
all. Because, yeah, if you think about Jam and Lewis did it, but I mean, you just think about what he's doing concept albums. Like he is taking an element of culture, like something like the Chronic or like Snoop's entire persona,
Mm,
and then not just creating the slaps, the songs, but then making them this sort of uh this manifestation of the person. Like the Snoop Doggy Style album sounds like Snoop. Like from the sense and it's in the details, it's in the sense, it's in the samples, it's in the musicians and how they're playing. And
mm,
when I met Dre and talked, I realized that's all him. Like he has a vision for something, and he has the musical understanding to either make it or pull it out and put it all together into something. So yeah, that's producing.
wow.
So Dr. Dre for sure.
Okay. Okay. So you got your
Three.
three.
Max Martin.
He,
Max
because
is
he's not a household name. I mean, for any of those pop rock stuff, and we will know Mark, but he's not, we don't see him on TV. We don't see his flashy cars.
never seen. You don't even know what he looks like.
No.
Do you know that statistically, I think Paul McCartney is number one, but he is the biggest, most successful songwriter of all time in the history of recorded music. He has more hits, more recorded hits than anyone. Max, is now on a 35-year run of hits, and no one knows what he looks like. Think
Wow.
about that. From Britney Spears "Hit Me One More Time," Bon Jovi to his Bon Jovi era, his NSYNC era, his Backstreet Boys era. I mean, his Kelly Clarkson era, his Ariana Grande era, his Weekend era, Adele. Like he's everywhere. He's got the new Coldplay single now. He's everywhere, and he always has been. And no one knows what he looks like.
Wow.
Like, he's the guy. So Max, yes,
There you
Max.
go. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay.
They understand what those boys winning all
Play it.
these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.